Hey, what's going on? So this video we're going to be going over Mirage quick tips. There's nothing recent out there, so I figured I'll just post something that is recent. This tip we're going to go over how to set up the English cockpit. So you're going to go to your options, you're going to go to special, find the Mirage, customize cockpit. By default it is French. In this video we're going to be using English. Alright, see you in the next tips. Hey, what's going on? This one we're going to be going over HOTAS setup and we should have binded. You can set yours up similar to mine if you want, or you could wait and I'll show you actually how the Mirage's HOTAS is set up. Alright, so I had the Warhog, or the Thrustmaster Warhog, so your HOTAS might be a little bit different. Alright, starting from the top right is our trim switch, pretty self-explanatory. Push forward, your nose goes down, pull back, your nose goes up. Left and right. To the left of that is our magic slave. This slaves your magic seeker head to the target. Or if you're doing air-to-ground mode, when you're doing CCRP bombing with Mark 82s, you put a reference point on the ground. Below that is our sensor switch, our forward hat sensor switch. So command at or command forward, pushing up is your bore sight. If you push it again, it will go to a vertical scan. To the right of that is a magic unlock. It's just a bigger searching box. Command aft is your horizontal scan. Then command depress. Command depress sets you back to or gets you out of the sensors and just puts you back in navigation mode. To the right of that, the other four-way hat is our Source 2, which is our Fox 1 to Super 530. To the right is the Xenon Magic, your Fox 2. Down, Xenon air-to-air gun mode. And then to the left is Xenon Neutral, which also gets you back to navigation mode. I forgot to go over the Master Mode control button. I use that as my Master Arm toggle switch. Alright, over here we have our thumb switch, the countermeasures, pretty self-explanatory, but we'll go over it. So if you push forward is the decoy program release, so if you have like program 2 selected, it will release program 2. To the left and right I have the waypoints, so I could just toggle between the waypoints pretty quick. If I push back towards me, it will be my ECM, or it's actually called jammer. That toggles it on and off. If I push down in the middle, panic release, which I believe is 6 flares and 6 chaff. Alright, the bottom image over here. So if you have a 2-stage trigger, like the Warthog has, this is what I have. So all the way back is weapons fire. This releases your bombs, your missiles, your guns. My pinky switch is the nozzle steering / IFF. And then my pinky paddle switch is my G limiter toggle. So I could go from air to air to air to ground mode. Alright, here's the throttle setup. I really don't have much on the actual throttle part until I get to the hand station. So over here I have my zoom view. That's what, if you watch my videos, how I can zoom in and out pretty quick. Over here's my drag chute. So when you land, you can deploy a drag chute to slow down real quick, especially on short runways. Below that, the autopilot section. Down is my altitude hold, and up is my approach hold, and then autopilot toggle, so you could turn it on and off just by pushing a button. This switch over here is my VTB, which is radar repeater on the visor. Over here is B-scope toggle. B-scope is the NATO / Western style radar, so the F-15, the Hornet, if you guys don't like the Mirage's cone-shaped radar. Above that is the slats auto and slats extend. I use extend and auto for takeoff and landing, but you guys can leave it on auto mode. Alright, to the actual hand station. Come on, Discord. Alright, to the actual hand station, my pinky switch I use for external lighting, so if I pull back it's formation lights, if I push forward it's navigation lights. To the left of that is my pinky button. I use it to manipulate the gun safety. To left is the TDC slew and locking, so I can slew the radar cursor around, and if I depress it, it locks the target. To the left of this is what I use to control my radar, so my range increase, my range decrease, if I want to elevate or if I want to depress the radar antenna. This is for SRS to communicate, so channel 1, channel 2, and then push to talk. Speed brake. So I pull back, so the setting is actually called air brake on, else off. If you pull it back, you deploy the air brake and you just let go. your air brake goes back inside. I think it's pretty useful. The boat switch, STT and TWS toggle, and the game's going to be like PIC and PID. That's the switch is between them. And then the China hat down here is exceed elastic limiter. That's a little bit more advanced flying stuff we could get into later. But yeah, this is my HOTAS setup. Next I'm going to show you the actual Mirage setup if you guys want to set yours up like that. Hey, what's going on, guys? So this tip's going to be the cockpit orientation of the Mirage, what you really need to focus on, not all these gauges and buttons. For seasoned Mirage pilots, you already know this, but this is for the guys that are getting into the Mirage. So this is an English cockpit, and the game is paused right now, so nothing's going to be interactive. So let's get into it. Up front, you have your HUD. Obviously, this is very important. This is where all your stuff's going to be, or this is where you're going to get a lot of your information from. Below that is your HUD control, so like your power on, your brightness, auxiliary gun sight elevation. Don't ever have to worry about that. Your radar altimeter power switch right there. Okay, to the right of that is going to be RWR. I'm going to pause my track IR. Alright, so the RWR, how that works in a Mirage. So the outside ring is it's searching radar. So like say there's F-14s, F-16s, F-18s, probably going to be F-18s all around because everyone in DCS has an F-18. So say there's an F-18 right here and he's locking you, now he's going to be right here. So the inside ring is locking, outside ring is searching. And then these lights right here, if they're on or flashing because missile warning flashes, that means they have power. Moving to the right here's your throttle. I'm pausing track IR. Okay, so here's your throttle. Obviously this is going to be fluctuating where your throttle position's at. Above that, this will be lit up green if you're an afterburner. Here's your temperature. You don't have to worry about your temperatures. To the right is your fuel bingo selector. I always set mine to 800 because it's kilograms. 800 kilograms will get you pretty far in a Mirage. This is your fuel flow. Fuel flow. And then right here is your actual fuel gauge. So how this works right now, so this is all internal weight. So if you have external fuel tanks, which just does not have on or center line, say it'll be like 7,000. Then once this matches this number, so 3150, that's how you know the external tanks are empty and you could jettison them. So this is kilograms, not pounds. So 3,150, I believe it's like 6,800 pounds of fuel, which in a Mirage is pretty far. Alright, right here is your navigation. So right now your nav mode, which is like waypoints, your TACAN if you want to select it. Right here's the dial to select them. On the HUD, so how it reads is 47 miles from waypoint 1. That house symbology and the caret up top will lead you in a general direction to waypoint 1. It will also pop right up here in the INS. Okay, right below that, if you have bombs like Mark 882s, this is how you set them up. So right now inert means safe, this means slow, that means instant explosion. Here's how you set your quantity, this is how you set your spread. So say you had 2 bombs spread at 3, it would be 2 bombs spread at 30 meters because it's in 10 meter intervals. Your warning panel, so if this ever beeps at you or lights up and says fail or whatever, it'll be right here. Normally config is the main one. And what config is, like say you have bombs on there and now your bombs are gone. Now you're ready for air-to-air loadout or air-to-air mode. Flip that switch and config will go away. This is your INS. There's plenty of videos that go over INS on YouTube. I'm not going to go over it. Your IFF power switch, very important. So you got IFF people. RWR power switches and countermeasure power switches. So missile warning is not on right now. All I have to do is flip it to the middle. Power's on. Holy cow, Discord. Countermeasures selecting or countermeasures settings. So your kneeboard will tell you what each one does. Right below that is your TACAN ILS. I'm going to unpause it so you can see how it works. Oh, wrong one. Alright, so top knob moves stuff, and the bottom dial is how you set between your different stations or frequencies. Pausing. Alright, cool. INS power switch. Internal lighting. I'm pausing. How these work: the top dial does the lettering, the bottom dial does the flooding or floodlights. Pausing this. Ooh, yep, okay. Don't really have to worry about the radar stuff because everything's pretty much mapped to your HOTAS if you set it up right. We have to worry about is the power knob, so from on or off to warm up to standby to emit. Right here is your air restart. So if you're inverting the Mirage for more than 20 seconds, I don't know why you would, but if you're inverting the Mirage for more than 20 seconds, your fuel pumps won't be able to get fuel, and you'll have a flame out. So what you do, you'll idle back to throttle, and then you flip the fuel pump or the engine relight switch. I'm gonna pause track IR right here. Alright, so right here is your external lighting. Your taxi lights, your police light is not integrated. I don't think refuel lights is integrated either. Okay, right here's your radios. Power switch for the top one. If you ever play the campaigns for DCS or for the Mirage, like red flag, it'll be like, hey, switch to your green radio or switch to your red radio. That's what this means. So green radio, red radio. This one you can program channels into, and this one's all preset. So whatever mission you're on, like they have preset frequencies. That's what this one is. So you have 20 channels you could have right here, and 20 channels of preset one. Alright, moving up, we have our landing gear right here. Obviously it's up, but if it was down, these lights right here will be lit up, indicating your landing gear, or your landing gear lights, landing gear wheels are down. And then up here will be like nose wheel steering. Your air to air and air to ground G limiter toggle. So air to ground mode, I think, limits you to 4 Gs. That way you don't rip any bombs off. Air to air goes up to, I think, 10 Gs. I'm pausing track IR. Your gun safety and your main safety. Yes, the Mirage has safety, so gun safety, or 2 safeties, so gun safety and your main safety. Pausing track IR. Alright, this will be like your weapon panel. Right now this is free flight, so it has those colored rocket thingies, whatever you want to call them. So like, say you have your Super 530, your Magic, fuel tanks will be like RP, and then bombs. This is how you can select them. You don't have them mapped to your HOTAS. Then up here is HUD symbology stuff. So say you're landing, hit approach, and you'll get some landing symbology. Obviously this is your radar display, power knob, your brightness knobs. This is not integrated. Obviously your altitude, obviously your speed, HSI, waypoint. I'm pausing track IR. Radio frequencies. This is what beeps at you right here. Tells you what it is. Click it so it stops beeping. If you're on autopilot, green will be autopilot's engaged. Amber means you disengage autopilot. If it's not lit up, this means you haven't done autopilot yet. Let's see. Drag shoot if you don't have it mapped right here. This guy right here. If it's flashing and lighting up, it means you're using countermeasures. If it's like lit up, like this one is, it means you're out of countermeasures. Oh yeah, parking brake. Alright, so like if you do auto start and it says disable your parking brake before taxiing, this is it right here. Alright, yeah, that's pretty much everything in the Mirage that you really need to know. So your HUD, power switch, radar, or power to your HUD, radar, RWR, navigation, throttle, bingo selector, fuel, bombs, RWR power and countermeasure power, iOS and TACAN, internal lighting, engine restart, radar power knob, external lighting, radio 1, radio 2, gun safety, main safety, HUD symbology, weapon selector, all that good stuff, and radio freaks. Alright guys, catch you on the next one. Alright, here's what's going on. For the tip we're going to go over is autopilot. What a lot of people don't know about the Mirage autopilot, you actually change the direction that you're going using your trim switches. So let's go over it. Alright, so autopilot's on, pausing. For those that don't know, this little star is the heading where your autopilot is selected to. So wherever this is at is the plane, or the direction your plane will go towards. Alright, so we got autopilot with altitude on. Alright, now using my trim switch, I'm going to control wherever the plane's going to go. Say you want to go 050, just roll it to the right, put that caret right there on 050. Your plane will roll, and then it'll level out when it hits 050. Yep. Alright. Hey, what's going on? For this tip, we're going to go over your radar real quick, and then your VTV, which is pretty nice to have, and I think a really good option to use. So let's go over the control we're going to use to find it. Alright, so V for me is mine. So VTB viewport on off, so it's a toggle. Alright, so a lot of people don't like the Mirage setup or Mirage radar's layout. So if you don't like that and you like the Western stuff like the F-15 or whatnot, just flip the switch. Now you pretty much have the same exact loadout. I don't mind it though. Alright, so the downside with the Mirage's radar is down there, and like when you're like turning, trying to like dogfight or try to acquire a target, it's kind of a pain. So right here, pausing. So right here, your VTV viewport, all it is literally a radar repeater on your visor, which is awesome to have because you could look around and you could obviously like slew your cursor on to acquire a target. I think it's really nice to have. A lot of other. Alright, what's going on? For this one, we're going to go over your Fox 1, your Super 5.3, which is that big guy right there. We're going to be going over how to employ it and the HOTAS symbology. So let's look at the controls you're going to use. Source 2 to select it. Weapons fire to release it. IFF to make sure it's not a friendly. And then TDC depress to lock the target. So that solid bar right there means I'm IFFing, nothing came back. Come on, track IR. Selecting a missile. Alright, HOTAS symbology. 530. Oh my god. Okay. So 530 is indicated. Also down here. Safety's on, so it's going to be flashing, but it's paused. Right here's your range indicator. Here's your closing speed between each other. So this first line is when you get open up on them and engage. The second line is when you want to wait to get your optimal no escape zone. Delta and Golf just means left and right. The time above it is impact time, or time till impact. So if he was over here, Golf will be indicated, but if he was over here, Delta will be indicated. But since he's in the middle, they're both indicated, ready to go. The plane will decide which one to shoot at. Obviously, this is him. There's little squares like his lead, so wherever he's pointing the nose, the square is going to go. So if he's going this way, the square will point this way. And then what you want to do, this is called your flight director. You want to put the little square inside this, that way you have the best lead to get the ultimate or optimal success rate. So let's go at it. Pause right here. Now roll within the no escape zone, also indicated by the double ring. Box 1. Splash. Alright, just a friendly reminder, it is a Fox 1, so you have to maintain rear lock the whole time. So if you're being defensive, try to keep the nose in the general direction of the enemy. Alright, catch you on the next one. Alright, this one I'm going to go over your magic, which is your Fox 2, the outside missile. In terms of maneuverability, I would say it's almost on par with the AIM-9X. The only thing is you don't have a HMD in the Mirage, so you can't like look around and get a just bore sight someone to get a high aspect kill shot. So let's look at the controls. Seeing a magic, select magic, weapons fire, weapons system command forward is your bore sight. If you tap it again, is vertical scan. Aft is your horizontal scan, and then magic unlock is like this magic seeker. Alright, so let's engage. Alright, targets up there. We locked him in vertical scan. Alright, same thing with the Super 530. Magic selected. Enemy. You want to put his little box inside your flight director. It's going to shoot the left missile because he's going to the left. Range, closing speed, double circle for ultimate. Fox 2. Splash. Let's go over symbology real quick. So up here, if you want to be sneaky and have your radar off, this is your bore sight. So you go fly around without radar, put a target right about here, and you can shoot your magic. All right, vertical scan, bore sight, horizontal, and then the outside box is the magic seeker. It's just a bigger box. You could actually put vertical scan, bore sight, and horizontal inside that box to get a double effect.